Benares, many Westerners know, is the ancient city of North India on the holy river Ganges. According to the long-standing reports of travelers, missionaries, and scholars, Benares is a city of death, a city where devout Hindus go to die and have their ashes strewn over the Ganges, hoping to find release from samsara, the cycle of rebirth. Certainly, if one visits either of the two burning ghats of the city, those solemn riverside locations where the funeral pyres are lit, one will witness a seemingly never-ending communion with death. But if one can conceive this spectral ritual as merely a moment in eternity, if one can avoid running one's senses aground upon the apparent finality of this moment, if one takes the effort to lift one's head and look, the face of Benares is not a face of death, but very much a face of life. Kashi, Varanasi, Benares, no matter how one chooses to call this holy city, this is a city of awakening.
Vishvesham madhavam dhundhim dandapanim cha bhairavam vande kashim guham gangam bhavanim manikarnikam uttishta kashi bhagavan prabhu.
We asked one of the most respected Brahmins of Benares, why is this city so sacred?
Benares for India is a very special place where the philosophies, traditions of India meet and merge together. And I would say that in the written history, one can see this, that people, saints, thinkers have been coming to Benares for interaction, for spiritual, charging. Situated on the banks of Ganga, this city symbolizes kind of simplicity, more kind of connection with the infinite and with the nature. There is a saying in Benares, Chana chabena gangajal, jo purave karatar, Kashi kabahu na chodiye Vishwanath darbar. That is, people have said that if you have just something to eat, just a handful of things to eat, and the Ganga water to drink, don't leave Kashi. It is the darbar of the Lord of Universe, the Vishwanath. It is the place of the Lord of Universe, who is Vishwanath. For us, whole Varanasi is the manifestation of that Almighty. So that is what Kashi, Varanasi, Benares is.
In the city of God, where every step is said to reveal yet another aspect of the Almighty, here we came to study the festivals of life. This isn't simple. According to one popular saying, given any 7 days in Benares, one finds at least 9 festivals. The festival drums are always being tuned. They're now being prepared for the spring festival of love and color, the festival of Holi.
One of the 4 important festivals for Hindus is Holi, where we kind of celebrate the coming of the spring after the winter is over, and we make a bonfire and set that holika to fire, symbolizing the end of our year and then the beginning of the new year. Holi is said to be the festival when we are supposed to forget or forgive each other of any bad things we have done to each other or in the neighborhood, and it will be a beginning of a new year where we would try to start the year in a friendly atmosphere.
Our Brahmin friend is Professor and Mahant Veer Badra Mishra. He is the foremost representative of the tradition founded by the 16th century poet-saint Tulsidas. At this very spot, on the bank of the Ganges, in the same house where Professor Mishra's family has resided for generations, Tulsidas composed his melodious version of the great epic Ramayana. This is the dramatic story of the child god Ram. The work of Tulsidas, known as the Ramcharitmanas, is written in the vernacular of his time. It is often said to be the most influential religious text in India today.
Prahlad is one of the most respected devotees in our mythology. And when Prahlad was very young, then means even at that time, that the seeds of devotion means started growing in his heart. And his father, who was a king, Hiranyakashipu, he didn't want that his son should become a devotee and this. He wanted him to become a king. So he tried all methods to just deviate him from that path. And this material, I would say the materialism on one end and the devotion on the other end. So much so that the demon king Hiranyakashipu asked, when he was fed up with his young son, who was already moving on this path of devotion, then and all his methods failed. Means he even just, he wanted to kill him, means his own son. Then he requested his sister, Holika. So to just, and she was blessed with this power that she can't be burnt in a fire. So the demon king said that you just take this young son of mine into your lap and you sit in the fire, and then you will not be burnt, but this young boy will be burnt, and I don't want this young boy to grow like this. But opposite things happened. It was on that day that she sat in the fire with this young boy, but I would say the devotional powers, spiritual powers were so much. I would say the good forces, the power of the good forces on the earth were so much that this young innocent boy was saved, and this Holika was burned. So that is the victory of say devotional forces on the evil forces. So that is how, means one of the stories associated with Holi.
The eulogy of youth is ever present in the mythology and symbolism of Holi. The myth of Prahlad aptly explains the bonfire of the first day of Holi. Evil of the past is destroyed, or, more correctly, purified in the fire. Out of the fertilizing ash arises a new hope for the future, the youthful Prahlad. Vishnu was the object of Prahlad's devotion, and it is the mythology of Vishnu's eighth incarnation, Krishna, the boy god depicted in blue, which aptly explains the second day of Holi. Through his playful antics, Krishna demonstrates the universality of God's love. The second day of Holi starts with rowdy color play, emulating the play of Krishna, who together with his cow-herding boyfriends, the Gopal, confront the cow-herding girls, the Gopi. All tables are turned on this day. The girls, in striking similarity with modern-day Holi play, spray buckets of color from the rooftops, and they appear to have the upper hand. The riotous day of color play concludes with union and tranquility. The community embraces in rejuvenation and reconciliation, forgiving all trespasses and offenses of the past. They celebrate the unity of mankind, a unity which overshadows all differences. Krishna symbolism speaks of the victory of love over division. There is a call for a return to the innocence of youth, a fresh start in social relationships, the renewal of love, the renewal of friendship, and the renewal of community. A week prior to the festival, wherever one turns, there are the indications of spring and Holi. In the early morning hours, the shopkeepers of the bazaar rearrange their stalls and display the implements of Holi play: color powder, squirting instruments, and festive hats. In the adjacent rural areas, the play with color has already had its soft start. Milkmen and villagers, who supply the city with foodstuffs and wares, are seen in red color-spattered Holi clothes. Wherever one wanders, in all neighborhoods of the city, from dusk to dawn, one finds friends and neighbors cheerfully gathered in some residence or public place, where they passionately sing the folk songs of the season. These are the teasing songs of love and spring, the often lewd melodies known as Holi and Kabir. There are 4 distinct styles of folk music intimately associated with the festival: Fagua, Holi, Biraha, and Kabir. Singers come from all groups of the community, including Brahmins. Starting a fortnight prior to Holi, the most popular form is Fagua. The name is taken from the lunar month of Falgun, and the songs glorify springtime and love. Another style, simply known as Holi, are folk songs which often refer to the playful and loving relationship of Krishna and his consort, Radha. Milkmen are often associated with a third style, known as Biraha. Though sung by members of all communities throughout the year, a special Holi-related Biraha is sung at this time. Kabir is only sung during the last 2 or 3 days of the festival. Processions of neighborhood Kabir singers go from door to door, teasing and joking with each and every household. Sometimes, as when visiting newlyweds, the Kabir songs are tauntingly sexual. Four days prior to the burning of the Holika fire, the festival is officially started by the gods of the city. The day is known as Rangbari Ekadasi, the colorful 11th. This is the 11th day of the lunar month of Falgun. On this day, the gods of Benares will symbolically receive a spattering of the red-colored powder known as abir. Even the temple ponds, such as this famous pond of Manikarnika, will be colored. These ponds symbolize the divine womb, the mother deity, from whom all life is brought forth. It is written in the Puranas that this pond, the most ancient Manikarnika Kund, was carved from the earth by Vishnu himself in the very first act of creation. He filled the cavity with the sweat of his toil, producing the first life-giving water. Shiva, the paramount divine protector of Benares, witnessing this accomplishment, danced so jubilantly that his earring fell into the pond. Therefore, this sacred water, the first place of Hindu pilgrimage, was named Manikarnika, the jeweled earring. Another ever-present symbol of divine motherhood, the cow, also receives garlands and spatterings of color. On Rangbari Ekadasi, all godhood is united in color. And soon, all mankind will follow suit. Most Indians will say there is one God. God appears in many different forms, each form depicting a different aspect of divinity. On Rangbari Ekadasi, every temple image, every aspect of divinity receives a spattering of red color. Ganesh, the elephant-headed son of Shiva and Parvati, is a powerful remover of obstacles and thereby the Lord of new beginnings. Perhaps the most common image of God is a phallus symbol, a Shiva linga, symbolizing the creative power of Shiva and Shakti. The most prominent deity of Benares, Vishwanath Shiva, his wife Parvati, and their elephant-headed son Ganesh, are the major divine actors of this day. The images of Vishwanath and his family are normally kept in a secluded temple room within the residential palace of the high priest of Vishwanath Temple. Only on this day are the doors to this room opened to the public. A large crowd of devotees will gather in the narrow lane leading to this abode. Merely a lucky few will gain admittance to the chambers. There, they will kneel before the deities and leave small offerings of incense and flowers. And, to help initiate the holy festival, they sprinkle the images with red abir. The images are said to be awoken by the arati flame. Soon, the family of Shiva will be carried by Brahmins approximately 50 meters through the narrow lane and into the main chamber of the Vishwanath Temple, perhaps the most famous temple of Shiva in all of India. Each year, thousands of devotees attempt to witness the sacred family's entrance into the temple. But, due to the lack of physical space, only a handful can play holy with these images or watch as they are ceremoniously carried through the lane. After installation in the temple, the blessing of Shiva, represented by the arati lamp, is passed through the crowd. Officially, the holy season has now been inaugurated in Benares. For many Benarasis, Rangbari Ekadasi means the making of the official drink of Holi, Thandai. The main ingredients of this refreshing beverage are milk, crushed almonds, sugar or honey, cardamom, and several other spices. To ensure the abandonment of tensions and the removal of the mental blocks that one might have to brotherly love, an intoxicating green paste produced from cannabis, commonly known as bhang, is sometimes added to the drink. Children, elderly, and most people, such as these teachers in a school for the blind, enjoy the Thandai without the intoxicant. Temporarily, following the celebration of Rangbari Ekadasi, the city returns to normal. The pace of life slows down for several days, and people seem to enjoy the quiet before the storm. we asked the important question, what is the significance of the neighborhood during Holi? Is this a festival of unification and communal inclusion?
Oh yes, means I would say that socially, that's the most important aspect of Holi. Means there are, you know that in India we have a caste system, and there will be certain things which one caste will do, there will be certain things which other castes will be doing, and there is a kind of hierarchy also prevailing in the society because of this caste system. But this is one such occasion in the year where you have to forget caste and each these people from the community, from the society will come together and hug each other, be friends with each other. People from, that is the younger age and older age, also they are supposed to meet each other and spend time together, just forgetting that hierarchy which comes by the generation, the older generation and the younger generation. So that aspect of Holi is actually very important on a social plane. Means irrespective of age, irrespective of caste, you just meet, spend time together, hug each other, and start the new year just in that atmosphere and with such a happy feeling. Actually, this whole festival is the festival of young and children. And if the children don't participate, the holika which we prepare and the bonfire will not happen. So it's the children of the locality who bring the wood. They sometimes go and cut some branch of the tree, some plant, some dry wood. They will just go, and at times they will secretly go and just lift that and bring it and put there, collect, and that will make the heap of wood. And so it is all the children's creation. The participation of the children and the young is more in this festival than in some of our other festivals during the other parts of the year. In India, the belief is that that Almighty, who is formless, who has all powers, that Almighty comes on this earth as the son or daughter of a human being. And the role of the gods is given to the young kids. And the belief is that these young kids are just free from the worldly attachments, and they are the purest form of human being. They are at that stage of their life. So they actually play the roles of the gods.
The focus is placed upon the purity of youth. Children take the responsibility of going from household to collect burnable items for the holy fire and donations for the neighborhood festival. They insist that everyone contributes, thereby ensuring harmony. The day before the lighting of the holy fire, the 15th day of the lunar month of Falgun, the festival will be celebrated in schools throughout the city. Starting innocently with orderly programs and prayer, the school ceremonies give us a preview of the pandemonium that will soon break loose throughout the city. At the close of these celebrations, the students take command. Social order is turned upside down. Using colored powder, they playfully demonstrate the equality of all in God's love.
Each year before Holi, new clothes will be stitched for everybody in the family and in the temple. And just before Holi, or on the day of Holi, when we set fire to the Holika, my mother used to put some kind of paste on our body and make our body a rub, and just that paste will dry off and it will peel off, and then that will be collected and just sent to the Holika, so that all the problems and all the bad things which is to happen to this boy will be just burnt in the Holika.
हाँ जी, रुको ना, छूटा नहीं अभी। ये सब देखो, बोला दुख दरिद्र जरा।
On the night of Holi, when the Holika is set to fire, there will be singing, and 3 Holikas were set to fire, one after the other. The neighborhood will collect there, set the Holika on fire, and we will offer some flowers, some food, and we perform a ahuti, a yagya. We sacrifice, we give sacrifice. That is, the fire sacrifices will be done, and after that we will go round that fire, and then put the ashes on our forehead, and then move in the neighborhood, and that will be the beginning of the Holi.
Despite the seemingly base jubilation of the moment, the holy fire is ceremoniously lit by Brahmins. The source for this tradition is the most ancient of Hindu texts, the Veda. As the Mahant has indicated, the holy fire is itself considered to be a sacred Vedic fire, a havan, symbolizing the creative heat of the cosmos. Community residents, irrespective of caste, circumambulate this sacred fire in a gesture of respect for the creation of God, a creation in which we are all ultimately united. Each household approaches with the residue of their mustard oil massage. This pasty residue is considered the dirt or evil of the past. It is thrown into the sacred fire and thereby converted to fertilizing ash, a most auspicious product of renewal that is symbolically smeared on the forehead and spread in cultivated fields. The fire which consumes the evil Holika is lit on the night of the full moon of Falgun. This is considered to be the most powerful moon of the spring season and one of the 3 most auspicious nights of the year. Tantric devotees will transport flaming coals to their home, where, long after the community fire has ebbed, they will maintain an all-night vigil in worship.
Next day, we will start playing with each other and playing colors, kind of cutting jokes, making funny figures, and hugging each other, offering sweets to each other. And this will going, if you go on the road, there will be, means everybody will be just there and with red faces, with black faces, with silver colored faces, and multicolors everywhere, and but everybody looking so happy and so interactive and so open with each other.
Holi in India is often associated with Mathur district and the playful mythology of the dancing boy Krishna. The mythology praises the camaraderie, innocence, and the unprejudiced affection of youth. One popular Krishna myth, known as the Krishna Makanchori, Krishna the butter thief, relates how the womenfolk of Vrindavan could never manage to hide their luscious yogurt from the young boy Krishna. Nothing, the myth tells us, can be denied God, not even God in the form of a child. Nevertheless, the womenfolk attempt to protect their yogurt by tying a large jug to the uppermost branch of a tall tree. Here, high above one of the main streets of the community, kids have tied a large jug of yogurt. As in the myth, the ingenious boy Krishna, getting by with a little help from his friends, manages to reach even this jug, and, revealing the true nature of Godhood, he shares the treasure with all.
And then at midday, this playing with wet color will stop, and that playing with wet color stops at midday, and then the whole neighborhood comes on the banks of Ganga at the ghat. And here, if you take the whole Asi Ghat, Tulsi Ghat, and the waterworks, there will be 1,000 people taking dip in the river, cleaning their body. Some of them will go on the other side of the river on the boat, and after taking bath, they will come and take the special food prepared in the house.
जमुना तट श्याम खेले होरी 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 जमुना तट। दौड़ी दौड़ी पिचकार चलावत, दौड़ी दौड़ी पिचकार चलावत, अबीर गुलाल लिए जोरी जमुना तट हो, अबीर गुलाल लिए जोरी जमुना तट श्याम खेले होरी जमुना तट श्याम खेले होरी जमुना तट।
And then in the evening we will start playing with the dry colors, the red color predominantly, that is called abir. Everybody will smear abir on everybody else's face, and again sweets will be offered. Thandai, this special cold drink made of almond and sugar and milk and some spices. Just in our family, that the tradition is the whole neighborhood collects, and the whole neighborhood will spends time here and takes thandai, talks to each other, takes pan. And then after I think 7 and 8 p.m. they starts the a Kavi Sammelan, a poets kind of congregation at Assi crossing, and this Assi crossing is just the place which is very central, where this people from this area go every day in the evening to read papers, to spend time in the market. So that becomes the venue of a Kavi Sammelan, a poets conference.
The Assi poetry gathering has become so famous that males of each and every community of Benares will congregate. All castes are here, Hindu and Muslim alike. At the moment, the speaker, or poet, is a Muslim. It is considered proper that only males of the household attend this rowdy ritual and display of ethical inversion. Through laughter, jesting, and satire, often of a very lewd nature, and in ridicule of historical figures, politicians, and public notables, the men of Benares unite in a common ground of good-natured humor. On this evening, everything is fair game for ridicule. Even the most treasured tenets of society, such as priesthood, fatherhood, and even motherhood, are targeted. Most important, the men of the community are challenged to laugh at themselves and their own society. The poetry and jesting is charged with sexual allusion, and together, the males of Benares find a symbolic release from springtime passions. The result is a recreation of communal harmony. The message is clear. Laughter and love cannot be debased, no matter how hard one tries. Community differences have no meaning. The limitless camaraderie of this evening tells us that once again, the Vedic holika fire, the puerile play with color, and the full moon and passion of the spring season have succeeded in purifying, rejuvenating, and uniting the community.
रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया श्याम पिया मोरे रंग दे चुनरिया श्याम पिया मोरे रंग दे चुनरिया ओ रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया रंग दे चुनरिया ऐसी रंग दे के रंग नाही छूटे, ऐसी रंग दे के रंग नाही 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 छूटे, ऐसी रंग दे के रंग नाही छूटे। धोबिया धोए चाहे ये सारी उमरिया, हो धोबिया धोए चाहे ये सारी उमरिया। ओ शाम पिया मोरी रंग दे चुनरिया, शाम पिया मोरी रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे चुनरिया, रंग दे चुनरिया। शाम पिया मेरी रंग दे चुनरिया, बिल्कुल स्पष्ट है इसका और गहराई में जाएं और ध्यान दें तो एक नया अर्थ सामने आता है। तात्पर्य है श्याम रंग से। इस श्याम रंग में पिया मेरी रंग दे चुनरिया। पिया कौन है? पिया भी श्याम है। यहाँ शब्दों की सुंदरता देखिए। लाल नारंगा हूँ मैं, हरी नारंगा हूँ, लाल नारंगा हूँ मैं, हरी नारंगा हूँ। अपने ही रंग में रंग दे चुनरिया, हो अपने ही रंग में रंग दे चुनरिया। शाम पिया